Okay, welcome to the tutorial on comparing text for the VCE English exam. Okay, this first tutorial I'm going to suggest that we use 4 steps when we come to answer this question in the exam. You turn the page over, you see the question, and this is how you should be thinking to approach this particular comparing text question. The first step is we're going to unpack the prompt. And what that means, and I'm sure that you've seen this before, is that we have to make sure we're answering the question correctly. So what we're really looking for here is things like keywords, or key phrases, or key ideas, or concepts, and so on and so on. So we make sure that we know what the prompt is telling us. We can ask ourselves, what does this prompt mean? How does this prompt relate to the text? Why is this prompt saying what it's saying? What can I infer from this prompt about the two texts? How can I extend the prompt to consider other areas? Something which is important right from the start is to make sure we're always thinking about relevancy of our answer to the prompt. And we have to make sure that that is sustained through the answer that we produce. We have to sustain the relevancy of what we're saying to the prompt in the question. Okay, so that's the first that's the first step that we take. We really take a look at the prompt and make sure we're getting the prompt correctly understood. The second step is when you start to develop some insights into the two texts in context of the prompt, and we're also looking to start thinking about the similarities and differences between the texts. So, if you want to consider the idea of a Venn diagram, this is the place where we would start to think about it. And what we're really trying to build here is an idea, is a list of sort of the key ideas, the key messages, the key themes, or structural features that relate to the text with regards to the prompt. And what we want to make sure is that we have a balance between the two texts when we're thinking about these ideas, messages, themes, and so on. Okay, the third step that we take then is to start thinking about the topic sentences that we're going to use. The topic sentences are for each of the body paragraphs. So ideally there's usually 3 or 4 body paragraphs, and each one of them will have a topic sentence to introduce the key point which is addressing the prompt, or the contention from the prompt. Okay, so once we have the topic sentences that we're going to use for each body paragraph, then we can start to think about the evidence that we need to assemble in order to support those topic sentences. And the evidence is something which you will have built during the year. It's basically getting to know the text, getting to know all of the different themes and characters and so on and so on. So you will be able to draw upon this big bank of knowledge that you've been accruing through the year. And then maybe the final thing that you can think about here is the concluding sentences for each of the body paragraphs. and the concluding sentences will mirror the topic sentences, but we'll come back to that a little bit later when we look at these in more detail. Okay, and then the fourth step that you then think about is how you're going to structure this essay, the best way to answer the question and the template that you're going to use. I think the most standard one is that you write the introduction, 300 words or so. You write body paragraph 1, which is your topic sentence 1, and then you do your evidence and then a concluding sentence. You do the same with body paragraph 2 and body paragraph 3, and then you do a conclusion at the end. And the way you structure your body paragraphs here is to do your your topic sentence, and then you do your text A, evidence, your text B, evidence, and then your concluding sentence. That's sort of like the basic idea of a template to answer this particular question. So those are the key steps that I think we should be thinking about using when you are faced with this comparative text question in the exam. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do some more tutorials which look at each of these steps in turn, where we can actually look at some examples and how we develop these ideas further. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you.